experience a lot of democracy, right? We got to see New York City, we got to see Syria, we got to see Iran, we got to see Peru, and we got to see Virginia. We got to see 5 democracies in the last 4 weeks. This has been a very exciting time. Now, what will we know tomorrow after the ranked choice elections of New York City, the historic ranked choice elections voted in by the people in 2019? And most likely they're going to fuck up, but if they elect a conservative, then maybe they'll, they'll let it slide for now. But, the ranked choice voting is, God, it's so fucking smart. It empowers the voter. It gives the voter so much more power. And it makes our presidential democracy, our near-perfect presidential democracy, perfect. It perfects our democracy. So, tomorrow by 9 p.m. Eastern Time, polls will be closed. Everybody's voted. That was going to vote that day. And then you got a lot of absentee ballots, which is going to be a big chunk of the people. I would say 10 to 20%. COVID and all that shit people are getting used to. Also by mail, voting by mail, that's, nice and convenient. But, we should be able to know what 80 to 90% of the votes, of the voters, of what they voted that night, but they're actually not going to tabulate anything until a week later. The only thing that we're going to find out, we'll know a couple things. We'll know who the voters' first choice was. Who was their first picks. So that means we'll only know one thing. We'll know the last place loser who's going to get kicked out. And actually we'll only know the first place choices. We won't know the absentee ballots. So we'll only know 80 to 90%. So actually we don't know who will get kicked out. We can only speculate. The only thing that we'll know is the first choice picks. The first choice picks of 80 to 90% of the voters of New York City. Now, there's something interesting here because in order to tabulate ranked choice voting, you need all the votes because you have to kick the lower one and then redistribute. So you have to have all the votes have to be in. And then once all the votes are in, then the tabulation can begin, the algorithm or what have you. So they're going to have the vote tomorrow. And then there's 7 days that people can cure their votes if they fucked up or messed up or didn't sign the fucking, envelope or what have you. So you got absentee ballots. It might take 3 to 4 fucking weeks for this whole process to be totally over. So it's the 22nd tomorrow, June 22nd, and then it'll be July, right? So it might be July 22nd, hopefully sooner. But I would say, it could take a month. It could take a month because you got to get all those absentee ballots. It takes you a week. If an absentee ballot comes in, then that means they at least have a week to cure their ballot, to fix it if there was a mistake. And then once the people have been notified, come in, cure your ballot, make sure, if you wanted your ballot to count. Then once the curing has or has not happened, then you have the pile of ballots. Then you count them and tabulate them because you have to kick the last place off, redistribute their votes, assuming that there's no majority victor, which there won't be. This is a closely contested election, even amongst the top 4 or 5 or what have you. So 80 to 90% of the votes will be in. It'll be a good poll. It'll be a very, very good poll. But I feel like the people that would vote on Election Day and the people that would vote by mail are two completely distinctly kinds of people. So just because 90% of the people that voted on Election Day voted a certain way, you can't assume that that's how it would be with the absentee ballots. I mean, kind of, you might be able to, I think statistics says that you can, but I think that the makeup of the people will be different because that's a smart, responsible. You're going to mail it in and turn it in when you don't, it's not like Colorado, everybody has to mail it in, so it's not like that's just how everybody does it. So, but to get an absentee ballot, it's like above and beyond. That's a little bit extra. It's a little bit extra. It's also, it's early, so it's like, hey, I'm going to get this shit done, right? I'm going to get this shit done early, and that's, responsible. So that's just, the very responsible versus the, fuck it, I'm just going to vote on the day of. And what's crazy is, right now, that is like the best way to do it, to vote on the day of. Because what the fuck? I want to know who my goddamn mayor is on election day, or maybe the day after. I don't want to wait a fucking month. This is bullshit. They have to wait so goddamn long. It's like, okay, let's give the, shitty oligarchical, plutocratic, fucking bureaucratic, fascist bastard fucks. Let's give them 30 days to cheat us out of an election. Let's give them 30 days to fraud, to throw the ballots out, to, if they didn't have if they weren't able to hack the machines, maybe they could just rip up the total tally and just print up something else, just put white out. I don't know. So June 29th, when they start tabulating the ranked choice voting, that's what somebody had said. That doesn't count absentee votes. So I don't see how that doesn't make sense to me. You have to have all the votes in order to start tabulating. I guess, there are some assumptions you can make. I think you could probably knock out like the bottom 4 or 5. So whoever the last place finishes are, you don't know, you can knock them out and then redistribute their votes. You don't know where those votes will go. So that actually, I think, yeah, I guess you could knock the bottom 4 or 5. It's top 5. So you can knock the bottom 5 out. That's what Election Day will tell us for sure. Out of 13, these 8 may be your mayor. Find out next week when we know not much more. Actually, just come back in a month and we'll just tell you who the damn mayor is. Don't even just go back to bed, America. Go back to bed. Paperboyprints.com, Love Gallery is a community center, art gallery, vintage store, performance space, futurism incubator. Founded September 2020 during the pandemic, where before officially opened in January 2021. They gave out over $2 million in food to the community at 1254 Myrtle Avenue in North Brooklyn. It's been highlighted in the New Yorker, ABC, Wall Street Journal, and more print and online outlets. It's a black, clear, and woman-owned business that focuses on love and art and uses the two to bring people together. It's open daily, 12 to 7 p.m., noon, 7 p.m., and it's the first business to open with a community fridge. We look forward to collaborating with community organizations, artists, vendors, and brands in the near future.